عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فنتابع القراءة في كتاب الأدب المفرد للإمام البخاري رحمه الله. وصلنا إلى باب لا يسب والديه. محمد بن كثير قال: نبأنا سفيان قال حدثني سعد بن إبراهيم عن حميد بن عبد الرحمن عن عبد الله بن عمرو قال: قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: من الكبائر أن يشتم الرجل والديه. قالوا: كيف يشتم؟ قال: يشتم الرجل فيشتم أباه وأمه. So this is a chapter about one should not his parents or cause them to be cursed or cussed. So in this hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr radiallahu anhuma, he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, one of the major sins that one will cuss or curse his parents. And people were surprised, who does that? Because at that time, if you understood the familial and the tribal relation, it was the most important thing. If you don't have family, don't have a tribe, you have nothing. Yeah, literally, you cannot survive. So nobody will ever think about cursing their parents or cussing them. Disrespect your parents, that means right away you cut off from the tribe, you have no protection, you cannot survive. So who would do that? He said he will cuss or curse the father of somebody else, and that person will retaliate and curse and cuss his father and his mother. So not only directly causing harm, indirectly causing harms to the parents is prohibited and is considered min al-kabair, one of the major sins. وفي الحديث التالي أيضا عن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص كان يقول: من الكبائر عند الله أن يستسلم. هذا موقوف مرفوع، لأنه أن يقول عن شيء كبيرة لابد أنه سمعها من رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، والحديث الذي قبله يؤكد هذا. The second أثر, Abdullah ibn Umar, the narrator of the first hadith, he's saying his opinion that it is one of the major sins that one will cause his parents to be cursed. So first, the first hadith, he said what Rasulullah said. The second one is explaining it. He's saying causing your parents to be cursed or cussed is one of the major sins. That means you don't instigate starting calling people names, their parents and so on. They're going to do the same thing, retaliate. Now there are some people who are foolish, who are ignorant. They will start right away. Anytime you do anything, they start cursing your parents and so on. Well, that's not in your control. What's in your control? You don't curse their parents, because you know right away they're going to start talking about yours. باب عقوبة عقوق الوالدين. So now the chapter talking about what kinds. حدثنا عبد الله بن يزيد حدثنا عيينة بن عبد الرحمن عن أبيه عن أبي بكرة رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: ما من ذنب أجدر أن يعجل الله لصاحبه العقوبة مع ما يدخر له من البغي وقطيعة الرحم. البغي أن يطغى الإنسان ويظلم ويتعدى ظلمه. ليس شيء خفيف، شيء كثير يكثر هذا البغي، ليس ظلم مرة واحدة أو شخص واحد يبغي أن يكون ظلمه شديدا. وقطيعة الرحم، هؤلاء يعجل الله لهم العذاب في الدنيا مع ما ادخر لهم من عذاب في الآخرة. So in this hadith, the Sahabi Abu Bakr radiallahu, Abu Bakr is different from Abu Bakr, so different Sahabi. Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says there are sins that Allah will make the punishment quickly in this life, beside what he's have saved for that person hereafter of punishment. These mentioned here two kinds of sin. The first one, that somebody is a transgressor. That is not somebody who's done mischief one or hurt one person. People who have either money, authority, they're in leadership position and so on, they take advantage of the weak and they cause corruption widespread. So they will be punished right away in this life, and then they will have severe punishment after. The second kind, those who are, they cut the ties of the kinship, the undutiful. So the first important kinship is the parents. And then comes the uncles, the cousins, and so on, the extended family. So somebody doesn't keep the tie of the kinship, right away in this life you will see it. It will be cut off, will be socially, be an outcast, and will be punished. He'll see it in his health, he's going to see it in his wealth, going to see it in his own family. Somebody that grew up not respecting his parents and showing that disrespect, his kids will learn to do it and will do that. And I've heard it a lot of times. I've seen some co-workers that tell me that their kids, how were you when you were teenagers? Oh, I gave my parents a hard time. Okay. What comes around goes around. So it's the same way. You treat your parents with dignity and respect. They know that this is the way parents should be treated. They will treat you when you get older with dignity and respect. حدثنا الحسن بن بشر حدثنا الحكم بن عبد الملك عن قتادة عن الحسن عن عمران بن حصين قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما تقولون في الزنا وشرب الخمر والسرقة قلنا الله ورسوله أعلم يعلمون أنها ذنوب عظيمة لكن علموا أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سيزيدهم فائدة فردوا العلم إلى الله ورسوله قال هن الفواحش وفيهن العقوبة هذه ذنوب واضحة ضررها وفيهن العقوبة ألا أنبئكم بأكبر الكبائر أمور أكبر من هذه الشرك بالله عز وجل وعقوق الوالدين وكان متكئا فاحتفز أي استوى جالسا قال والزور أي وشهادة الزور وفي رواية أعادها 3 مرات. So in this hadith Imran ibn Husayn radiallahu anhu said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once asked his companion, and that was one of his educational methods. Instead, right away give you the information, he will create some curiosity, ask you a question, and now you want to know the answer. You're more likely to pay attention to it. Say, what do you think about stealing, committing adultery, and regret? Allah and His Messenger know best. Now, don't they know that these are major sins? They know. But they know Rasulullah is going to add some information to them. So there's no point of them saying the obvious. And Rasulullah is not going to tell them the obvious. That means He's going to teach them something. So He said first, هُنَّ الْفَوَاحِشِ They are the obvious big sins. Nobody argue about them. وَفِيهِنَّ الْعُقُوبَةِ And somebody committed. There's a prescribed punishment in Quran. In zina, for those who commit adultery, previously married, they will be stoned to death. Not previously married, they will be lashed 100 times. Drinking wine, the same thing, they will be beaten, they will be punished. And stealing, once certain minimum has been achieved with all the conditions, because not every thief, the punishment is to have their hand cut. So there's a prescribed punishment for it. But He told them there's a bigger sins than these. Shirk, associating partners of Allah, and being undutiful to the parents. So these are bigger than drinking wine, stealing, and committing adultery. And then the third one, he was leaning on his side, he sat up and he said, and false testimony, perjury. So somebody, because perjury causes so much corruption, it's different from lie to one another. This is in a state of court. They're trying to take the right of somebody, give it to somebody else through a lie. That destroys the whole justice system. It's based on a justice system, documentation, and witnesses. And if witnesses are not reliable, then most of the crimes will go unpunished. So perjury, in another narration of Rasulullah, he said it 3 times, that if somebody give false testimony, somebody give false testimony, somebody give false testimony. These are one of the major sins. It's beyond hurting one person, it's destroying the whole justice system. And unfortunately, it reached a point where courts and judges and witnesses in a lot of places were so corrupt that people would not trust it. So what happens when there is no justice system? People don't trust. It will be a law of the jungle. People will start taking rights in their own hand. Those who've got power, they will take what they can, and those who don't have power have nothing. And this is not a way of living. Even in Jahiliyyah, before the time of Islam, the people of Mecca, the wise ones, they made an allegiance, they made an alliance. They say, anybody that support them, Hilf al-Fudul, we will support them with whatever we can, as long as we have power. So these people of influence, people who have power, they have money, they have influence, so we will support the weak and those who injustice was inflicted upon them. And Rasulullah ﷺ, later on when he became a prophet, he said, this kind of stance, if I was invited to it, I will join it. Life is nothing without fairness and justice. As I said, it's a jungle. And once it's a jungle, it will be run by psychopaths. You're going to be running by murderers, killers, people have no empathy to anything. It's not a life. That's not a life worth living. So false testimony is a big thing. The part of the hadith that relates to our subject about being undutiful to the parents, as I said, it destroys the social support system. That means every time a person gets older, then there is no respect, and the elderly were just going to be ignored. That means the foolish, the young people without the wisdom of the elderly will be running around. They're going to be making a lot of mistakes. The elderly, a lot of them have experienced life. They've been through a lot of things. Their experience is worth a lot. You see a lot of times business people, they go bankrupt. They have a bad deal, something happens, they go bankrupt. But they build their wealth back again. Why? They had experience, they have connections, they know how to do it. Somebody starting from scratch, you want to start, let's say, a trucking company. If you never work in a trucking company, you can spend 10, 20 years and you never make money. But if you're already in that business and something happens in Mexico, you lost your money, and then you can start again. You know the system, you know how to get contracts, how to hire people, how to transport things, point A to point B, and so on. That's experience worth more than any degree, more than any money, any capital. And the same thing with society. If they neglect the experience of the elder ones, they're losing a lot. People, unfortunately, especially the young ones, when they start growing, becoming teenagers and so on, they think they know better than their parents or their grandparents. They start showing disrespect to them or rolling their eyes whenever they tell them something important they need. You need to save your money. Don't waste your time on a TV or in video games and so on. You need to prepare, do something that's useful, learn something, do something, read Quran, pray, visit friends, visit families, go outside and so on. Don't be locked. And they look at them, it's like, oh, they're boomers. They don't know what life is. No, the experience of the elderly comes from things they tried, errors they fell into. They don't want the younger ones to fall into. Most people, you will see them when they get older, the things that they regret is spending times with the family. It's not about the money they missed. It's not about the games they missed. It's about they missed their family. And you see people who have fulfilling life, whether believers or not, people who have good social connection. They have the connection with extended family, and they have a community that care for them, and they care for this community. People can live on the edges. They can go to Alaska, they go on the top of a mountain, live in a cabin, care for nobody else, enjoy nature, and have no connection to it. But then whether they're alive or dead is the same. They're just another creature in the mountain. But people who leave difference are people who are interacting with one another. That interaction leaves something. Every time you come, you see a brother, he's smiling to you. You shake his hand, you feel the warmth in his hand. You feel you got a friend here. You ask somebody for an advice, asking for help, and they're there for you. That's something positive they've done for you. So you learn a surah of Quran, you learn something, you teach it to another brother, you review Quran together. You have some money, you help somebody with that money, you learn some experience, you know there's a job opening, somebody looking for a job, you find him a job. Whatever good that you do, this is the important stuff. The ulama, like Imam Bukhari, when he leaves his books, he left us hundreds of years ago. May Allah have mercy on his soul. So he left us a long time ago. He wasn't a rich person. He didn't have palaces and possessions and gold and silver. He left this knowledge that people inherit. So this is the ongoing charity that keeps giving after you go. And it depending on your ability. People of knowledge, the knowledge they spread. People of money, the things they build a masjid, they build a school, they support this ongoing charity, they help a community doesn't have water resources, they get water, print Quran books, print books of knowledge, and so on. Raising good children, that these children will carry this tradition. Every time they pray, say, Allah forgive me and forgive my parents behind them. So these kids, grandkids, and so on. So always think about the importance of life, things that you do for yourself in this life, for the hereafter, and the good that you have among people that are around you, then once you leave, you still have that positive impact. Rather than you have some people that say, Alhamdulillah, khulsna minno, that it's good that we got rid of him. And usually these are people who are tyrants, people who are transgressors, people who are just greedy, and so on. People don't miss them. They wish they were not there. So try to be a positive person in your own capacity. Not everybody is going to be a billionaire. Not everybody is going to be a knowledgeable person, a strong person. But in your capacity, the least amount of influence you can do, still do it. Think about what you can do that will be positive. It makes your life worthy. You get the reward of value, and you will see it in the hereafter. Wallahu ta'ala. Inshallah, we'll stop here from this book. We started reading a book about the different sects.